Academy's back on. Back Academy's back. I'm Back Academy's back on.
Well, guys, I'm sure as you can probably figure out by now, I am on the road. Why are you on the road, Officer 401? I thought you were supposed to be in class all week. Well, I was, but due to an unforeseen family emergency, I have to go home. And before you guys start worrying and asking me what's going on and all that, everything's good. This is why people do not like truck drivers. Why are we going 58 in a 70? I've been behind this guy for like 4 miles. Thank you, Jesus. So I'm sure, as you guys can guess, I was supposed to be in class all week. I got through day 4 today, and I got a text message right after class, and I needed to head home. So unfortunately, I'm going to miss the test tomorrow. I talked to the instructor, and he is very understanding about it, and he let me do a formal withdrawal, which means it's not going to affect my training record, or there's no disciplinary action or anything like that. And I have to say, like, out of all the classes that I have been to in 9 years, this one, the material was very dry, but the instructor was really funny. He's one of those guys that can like teach very dry material, but like every few minutes have everybody in the class laughing. This guy cussed, he was down to earth, just overall like a really cool guy. And I kind of hit on it in one of my other videos, but for those of you that don't know, the way training works for cops in Georgia, it really depends on what the training is. But a lot of the advanced classes you have to go to Forsyth, Georgia, and it's the Georgia Public Safety Training Center, also known as GYPSTIC. Well, we have to go to GYPSTIC sometimes for week-long classes, or 2 weeks, or 3 weeks. It just depends on what the class is. So you can either stay on base, or you can get a hotel room. There's really no requirement to stay on base if you don't want to. So I stay in a hotel, and this hotel has a bar attached to it. So once you complete your class, if you pass your test, it's updated on the Georgia Post website. And it basically just documents what training you've had throughout the year, and also in total. What I thought was pretty funny today, he was telling us a story. So for those of you that don't know, there is an agency called the GBI. And for those of you that are not familiar with what GBI is, it is basically the state level FBI. It's like the FBI's little brother that wasn't very good at sports. The Georgia Bureau of Investigations was actually created to investigate state officers, because before the GBI, Georgia State Patrol basically investigated themselves. I'm sure you can probably imagine this didn't go over too well in a lot of cases. So needless to say, for years and years and years, the GBI and GSP are some of the strongest rivals in law enforcement, at least in this state that I know of. Well, the instructor today in class was telling us, so GBI and GSP, they both go through GYPSTIC. That's where their training academy starts. And for those of you that have been in the military, you'll understand what a guidon is. For those of you that were not in the military, the guidon is basically the person in front of everybody marching that holds the flag. So it's kind of a ritual that somebody always needs to keep an eye on the flag at all times. Well, the instructor was telling us a few years ago, I guess he was setting up a class in his room. And at the back of the class, there's one door, and in the front, there's 2 doors. Well, he's getting everything set up. There's no students in there or anything. And all of a sudden, this dude comes darting through his class, in from the back door, out through the front door, gone. And he's holding the guidon. Well, come to find out, this was a GBI recruit. So take a wild guess at what follows. What follows is about 15 or 20 jacked up, muscular, beefy, angry state trooper recruits. And I guess they chased this guy down into the hallway, like into the main lobby. And apparently these state trooper recruits commenced to beating the shit out of this GBI guy. So of course all the instructors run in there. All these Georgia State Patrol recruits get off of this guy. This guy stands up, he's got blood all over his face, and they're like, what the hell just happened? So the GBI recruit, he's like wiping his face and stuff. He's like, nothing. So note to self, do not ever try to steal the guidon. And he got the bright idea that he was just going to snatch it right in front of all of them. So then he tells us another funny story about, you guys are not going to believe me when I tell you this, but yes, there is actually a class that teaches firefighters how to become a clown. I don't even need to insert a joke here because I'm sure all of you can probably put your own right there. Well, one of the state agencies thought it would be a good idea to try to steal the flag again. Except this time, he dressed up as a clown. Again, this is a rivalry between GBI and GSP. The fire department has nothing to do with this. So one of these state agent recruits dresses up as a clown, steals the flag, runs out the back door, and apparently there's a pickup truck. Like, this was a premeditated theft. He jumps in the back of the pickup, They take off down the road. None of the recruits obviously can catch them. The funny part about the whole story is that for the whole next part of the week, there were random pictures showing up all over the building. They were like popping up randomly in the classrooms. And one of the pictures would show like a clown loving on the guidon flag. Another picture was of like the guidon flag in a beach chair and a clown in a beach chair next to it getting some sun. So stuff like that is pretty funny. What's not funny is that the skirt team from GSP was actually at Gypstick for this week of training or whatever. For those of you that are not familiar with the skirt team, they are basically accident reconstructionist experts. Like, these guys can piece together any accident that happened mathematically. I don't know how they do it. You guys know me in numbers. We don't get along. Some of the recruits ended up writing in permanent marker on these skirt cars because they thought they were the recruits' cars. They didn't know that this was a skirt team from Atlanta. So they take permanent marker and they are writing GSP troopers suck dick. They are writing all kinds of mad shit all over these skirt team cars. So long story short, they end up finding the two culprits that basically like organized this whole thing. They bring them into the class and they have them apologize in front of the entire class. They're like, we want you two to apologize to everybody in here for what you've done. They're like, oh, we're so sorry. We can't believe we've done this. This is extremely unprofessional. So the captain looks at both of them and says, good, thank you for apologizing. You're both fired. So I think they've cracked down a lot on some of the shenanigans between GBI and the State Patrol. They probably still screw with each other here and there, but I think they've cracked down on a lot of that because it was really starting to get out of hand, especially when a bunch of angry state troopers show up at firefighter clown school ready to fight everybody in there. It was almost a big brawl, and the firefighters had no idea why they were in there and why they were pissed off. But anyway, guys, like I said, my instructor was really cool, man. He told me, he's like, the first class that opens up, I want you to go ahead and put in for it. We'll see what we can work out to try to get you in there. He's like, there's one thing I believe in. I'm going to try to say it like he did. There's 3 things that I believe in. Number 1 is God. Number 2 is family. And number 3 is work. So family's always going to take priority over work. So you go out there, son, and you handle your business. And of course, I'm thinking, yes, sir, this guy is fucking awesome. So anyway, guys, that is an update on what is going on. I'm going to try to edit this video when I get home if I have time. But if you guys have any ideas for videos, let me know in the comments section below, and I will try to answer them accordingly. I am about to go get jacked up on caffeine and hit the road. I hope everybody has a great day, and I will see you guys soon.